bit. Oh, hey, you finally showed up. You know how long I've been waiting here? What exactly could have been more important than coming here today? Of course, that's what you were doing. You know I'm taking 2 hours out of my time to help you study today, right? You could at least consider my feelings. Well, you're here now. That's all that matters. I hope you know that this is important for your future. I'd hate to see you fail. Oh, what is it specifically that you want me to help you with? The teacher wasn't really specific. All he said was that you're in desperate need of help and I'm the only one that can help you. I hope you're taking this seriously. Alright, fine. Yes. Do I know how to exam prep good? Hmm. Is that what you need help with? I guess the most important thing is to make sure that you have enough rest. You can't exactly ace an exam if you fall asleep halfway through. A method that helps me is flashcards. Big Brother would always put questions and facts on flashcards for me to help me study. But that's only if you have another person to help you with the questions. I know not a lot of people can study directly from the book. It's okay if you don't know what you're doing. You all start somewhere. That's why I'm here to help you. What subject are you having the most trouble with? You can start there. Even you don't know? Exactly how many classes are you failing? Itemize algorithms? Hmm. I don't exactly have any study material for that on me. I wish you told me that sooner so I could prepare. Right, then, how about for now, you just do some silent reading, and then you can tell me exactly what you learned. You can do that for a couple minutes. Let's start on chapter 5. How about that? I think that's a good start. And of course, if you don't understand anything, you can let me know. Why are you looking at me like that? There's something on my face? I hope not. I thought I wiped all the crumbs earlier. There's something different about me today? I'm not entirely sure what you're implying. My hair looks different. Oh, I just pinned it up for reading. Can't exactly read when half my hair's covering my face, you know? And my twin tails? Well, I would have put it in a braid, but I didn't have my scrunchie on me today. Why are you asking me about my hair, though? Why, do you have a particular preference? Really think I look good in any hair? Are you trying to take this studying seriously? Because it seems like you're only trying to flirt with me. I'll let it slide. Sometimes I don't get you. Almost like you say exactly what's on your mind. Why did I agree to help you study? Well, I didn't really have anything else to do, honestly. Mm. But I guess the real question is, or the real answer, sorry. I guess it's, I wanted to avoid training with Big Brother today. Oh, right. You don't know, do you? Every now and then, Big Brother schedules me to train so I can master my abilities. But the training's really exhausting. I don't really feel like doing that, honestly. It's not that it's bad. It's just a lot of information. I have a hard time keeping up. There are things that even I can't do. It's not that I can't do it. I just rather not to. That's a difference, you know. What are you looking around for? There's somebody missing? Oh, you mean him. Well, he's off doing who knows what. He doesn't really tell me what he does half the time. But he comes back unscathed, so it doesn't bother me as long as he's safe. Forgot his name? He says it all the time. How could you forget? Okay. He's named Clump. You know, the little fur ball that's always near me. How could you forget him? He's not exactly hard to miss or forget. I ain't trying to change the subject so you can avoid studying. Well, I can't totally fault you. Not everyone can do 2 whole hours of studying. So, and the teacher was kind of harsh making us do 2 whole hours. I don't blame you. What's wrong? You have something to say, can you just say it already? You're weird. You always ask the most random questions and then you just stare at me. I can hardly tell what you're thinking. You wonder about what kind of powers I have? Oh, it wouldn't hurt to tell you, I guess. The only things I've really mastered are flight, honestly. I have photokinesis, but honestly, I don't really use it all that much. And I create life. No, actually, that's one of my restrictions. I have restrictions. Well, you do know I'm only the princess, right? I'm not exactly on the throne. Light manipulation? Yeah, exactly. I've been told there are a lot of things I can do, but I just haven't unlocked them yet. Big brother told me I had super speed also. But who needs to move that fast anyway? I know one person who would, but he would only use it just to get near me. Are you okay? Oh, I guess being right near a god is kinda overwhelming, huh? To be honest, I don't really consider myself a god. I spent most of my life on Earth. I lived more as a human than as a god, honestly. And even though I am a deity, it doesn't really feel like it sometimes. Father, Big Brother, and all the other gods still treat me like I'm a baby. Which, I guess to them, I am still pretty much a baby. I've hardly even lived even a percent of how long they've lived. You want to know how many gods I've met? Hmm, that's hard to say. There's Father and Mother, who's the embodiment of the earth. There's, oh, I've met Zeus. He's a character. I've met Heracles. Hmm. I've met Thor and Loki and Odin. They're actually really nice. Have I met Satan? He's my uncle. Of course I've met him. He's pretty, what's the word? He's a lot like me. He doesn't express much emotion, and he always keeps to himself. I think aloof is the word. He's not scary. Surprisingly, no. Um, I guess a way to describe him is an antisocial emo, but don't tell Uncle I said that. I've met Lucifer also. He's my cousin. Satan and Lucifer are different people. Yeah, they are. Well, Satan's not his actual name. That's just what most people refer to him as because that's his title. And then Lucifer is Satan's son. Mm, who else have I met? I've met some of the Egyptian gods, like Ra, but I think Ra's the only one I've met. They quite keep to themselves, actually. Mm. A lot of the gods typically just stay in their own realms or on their own sector of Earth. Like, even though I lived in Japan for quite a while, I still haven't met any of the Japanese gods. I see them every now and then when there's a meeting, but we've never spoke. Honestly, I think they avoid me. I'm not sure why. Hmm. By the way, I was thinking, what species are you? I know for sure you're not human. There's hardly any humans that attend this academy. Since we're asking each other questions. You're A stray soul? So you don't have a species. Interesting. You never considered going up to heaven and get judged? It is quite a lengthy process, so I don't entirely blame you. And there's a long wait line. Judgment is scary. It's only scary if you end up going to hell, I guess. But hell has a rehabilitation program. So even if you were judged to go to hell, you're most likely going to the rehabilitation program to get rejudged. Contrary to popular belief, most of hell's citizens are rehabilitated souls rather than demons. You know, I could take you up to heaven sometime and give you a tour. I imagine since you're scared of judgment that you don't live in heaven. Do you live in the dorm rooms here? I'm glad you like that option then. Then I'll set a day so I could show you around. Where did the teacher go? He really just left us here all alone. That's kind of irresponsible of him. Well, a lot of teachers at this academy are a little irresponsible. You know, the gym teacher brought a chimera to class one time. Almost half of the class got injured. Not surprising. No, it isn't surprising. This academy is to nurture the future generation. They teach us how to fight. They teach us the history of the universe. A lot of students here actually end up joining the Heavenly Army. Or they go back to their homes and serve their home country. A lot of alumni at this school too, now that I think about it. My father's an alumni. So is my mother and uncle. Oh, Dracula's one. Mm, another one. The vampire guy. How do you not know about Dracula? He's famous even on Earth. He has his own kingdom here. His son Alucard attends this school. Speaking of, if you see Alucard and he asks you where I am, please don't tell him. He's always trying to drink my blood for whatever reason. I don't understand. He says it's something about blue blood, but I don't really pay attention. So just do me a favor and don't ever tell him where I am if you see him. My blood's blue? No, he just calls it blue blood. I think it has something to do with royalty or my divinity. God's blood is quite rare, especially the blood of a supreme god. Mm. Is that maybe why Adonis is always going after me? He says it's because he loves me, but I really think it has something to do with my soul rather than me. Sorry, I was just talking to myself. Don't mind me. Oh, you know Adonis? He say to you. Oh, now that I think about it, Adonis is a lot more famous than I thought. Like, I mean, a lot more people know him than I ever realized, you know? But yeah, he is Limbo's current ruler. So he's on probation right now. I don't know how much of a ruler he can be if he hasn't even been there for a while. A long while. He doesn't even talk about his duties or that he has to go back. Almost like he doesn't care anymore. This time? There were other times? Hmm. I'll have to have a talk with him later. But to answer your question, he didn't really do anything. He kind of just turned himself in after the invasion of Earth. And then he was imprisoned for a while. But then he was granted probation. He's the kind of guy that sounds like trouble. You would be correct. Whenever I'm not looking, he's always causing some kind of trouble. Last week, he got into a fist fight with a group of people. He didn't even tell me why. always have to keep an eye on him. It is a bit strange that he's not here right now. He'd rather die than leave me alone with somebody. Maybe he's actually off doing something important or not causing trouble, though I highly doubt that. Sorry. Excuse me. I'm a lot more tired than I thought. It is a little bit your fault, though. You kept me waiting for a while. I admit, I'm a bit curious. What's a stray soul like you enrolled in this school? Surely you must have some kind of goal in mind, yes? Trying to get a better life? You just assume you're supposed to figure that out here? That's one way to figure out what you want to do in life. It, I understand, in a sense. From what I remember reading about stray souls, you don't remember anything about your past life. You don't remember past or your personality. Want to make a new, better life. A better one than the past, right? I heard it's hard for a stray soul to remember their past life. The longer it takes for you to remember, the harder it is to remember. I heard it's a bit traumatizing. So, don't listen to me. I don't know anything about it. Isn't a stray soul defined by what it is not? If that's how you want to look at it. Oh. You're free to interpret it however you want to. I've only met a handful of stray souls myself. And they're all very different, even you. You're the most curious one I've met, though. Excuse me. Sorry. I hope I wasn't offending. I try to get a glimpse at your past, but even to me, it's all fuzzy. I wish I could help, but I don't think I can help as I am now. Father might be able to, but he's been really busy lately. I don't want to bother him. Can I normally see the passive stray souls? It depends, really. If it was what's the right word for it? Fresh stray soul? Then yes. Memories from a newly stray soul are easier to unlock from stray souls that have been here for a while. Because eventually, for older stray souls, the memories are forever lost, like they never existed in the first place. It's a curious phenomenon, honestly. You have been wandering for quite a long time if even I can't grab your memories. But it's not entirely a bad thing. It might be a good thing that you don't remember. You could make a whole new life, making whole new memories and new friends. I don't know if this is in your plan, but you could make a whole new family with other stray souls. That might be nice. Yeah, you are a blank slate. Plus, we don't exactly know how long you've been a stray soul. Anybody that has been in your past probably isn't around anymore, depending on how long you've been here. I've seen stray souls of children who have been reunited with their parents. It's sad and wholesome at the same time. And then I've seen a stray soul where they reunited with their lover. And they lived happily ever after, actually. They invited me to their wedding. Or is it a vow renewal? Either way, they invited me, but I was too busy to attend. I sent them a present, though. Well, they're happy. If there is somebody from your past that is still around, then if destiny is kind to you, then you might reunite with that person. I am yawning a lot today. Maybe I stayed up too late studying last night. Will I do anything besides studying? Well, I do like to walk around the kingdom or the academy. I assume a god has ways of spending time. I can't speak much about my father and how he spends his time. Whenever I see father, he's always working, either doing paperwork, preparing for a meeting, uh, judging souls, things like that, preparing for events or balls. Honestly, I don't know if father even sleeps, honestly. But for me, I'm typically either here at the academy or back home. So most of the time I am studying. If I'm not studying, then I'm training with Big Brother. And when I'm not studying or training, I am with my friends, like Adonis, Clump, Sandal, Alucard sometimes. Oh, Longo too. Sorry, you don't know anybody who I just mentioned, do you? Well, you know Adonis and Clump, but not anyone else. I only briefly mentioned Alucard. If you're curious, I can tell you about them. Are they just as scary as Adonis and Clump? Uh, Alucard, maybe. He's kinda. Hmm, how do I describe Alucard? He's always like perpetually tired. He always has bags under his eyes. He is pretty serious. Well, I guess it's more like a laid back serious. He's rather lazy. Unless it comes to blood, of course. But he's pretty chill most of the time. Just don't have any blood around him. Then he turns into a completely different guy. Sandalphon. Sandalphon's an angel. I call him Sandal. And I actually knew him before I ascended as a god myself. He was one of my childhood friends back on Earth. And he's the younger brother of Metatron. You know, God's right hand. Sandal is kinda uptight. He and Adonis hate each other. It might have something to do with Sandalphon being my childhood friend, and he's known me longer than Adonis has. So Adonis gets pretty jealous when Sandalphon's near me. But Sandal's also more than just a childhood friend. He's my personal retainer. That means he's basically a butler. He gets me snacks and tea when I ask. He protects me. He's a personal servant. But he is more than a personal servant. Because he is my friend. The Metatron? Sandalphon and Metatron come from a long line of angels that have been the right hands of all the supreme gods over the centuries, eons, at least ever since the beginning of time. There was a supreme god line, and then there was the first angels. Sandalphon's family lineage is probably the oldest out of all the angels. Oh. I also mentioned Lonko, didn't I? Lonko is... You know what a Grim Reaper is, right? He reaps souls. You don't have to be afraid. He won't come for your soul. Uncle, despite being a Grim Reaper, he's actually the most wholesome out of everybody. He's like a child. He's always smiling all the time, very cheerful and optimistic, despite his work, you know. Another thing about Lonko is he's probably one of the last Grim Reapers, actually. In the last war against Boyd's army, the Grim Reapers were nearly wiped out. But at least this is what my father told me. When I ascended as a god, the Grim Reapers, what's the word? Reincarnated, and Lonko was the first one. Grim Reapers also have like a strange perk to them. They're neutral most of the time, but they like alternate sides, you know? Like in the last war, the Grim Reapers were on Void's side, but the war before that, they were on the Supreme God side. And since in the previous war, the Grim Reapers were on Void's side, this time around, they're on our side. Talking about the war, how's Clump and Overthur on your side? Lump is. He is a strange case, honestly. You are right that they're creatures of the void, but they don't really have a side despite being from the void. Novathers typically go for whichever side they think will win. They don't really pick a side and stay on that side, to say. But for Clump, he's basically forced on my side. We're in a contract, you know. As Clump is under me per his contract, he is forced on my side. He does still mostly act neutral, though. I would let you ask him yourself, but I don't know where he is. Even though we're in a contract, I don't have his whereabouts 24/7. I let him roam around and do whatever he wants. You might think that's dangerous to leave a creature of the void wandering around, but there are stipulations in his contract where he can't hurt innocent people or cause any amount of destruction without my permission. So he is allowed to wander and go as far as he wants. And if I need him, I can just call his name and he'll come right back to me. So, no matter how far he goes, he'll always come right back to me when I need him. It is kind of adorable how he gets angry whenever I call him back, and he was in the middle of something important, as he says. I would ask him what he was doing that was so important, but he always deflects. I think it has something to do with souls. But it's Clump's life, and I don't want to impede too much. I basically get notified if he's causing harm to anybody anyway, so. And I haven't gotten the alarm for that. So whatever he's doing, I guess it's fine. By the way, do you have any pets? I don't know if you would call Clump a pet, but you know what I mean, yeah? If you want, maybe I could talk to another Novathur and convince them to be under contract with you. There? Quite a bit of Novathur from what I know. Compass told me there's about, including him, 26. What does a contract entail? Mm, it really depends, but how my contract is at least. Bump is under the direct control of Nirvana Tenchi. Whenever Nirvana Tenchi calls his name 3 times in a row, he appears before her. And you can give certain conditions. Like for me, I had Clump call me mother or mommy. No particular reason, honestly. Adonis suggested it. I guess it's mostly to get under his skin and annoy him. I feel like a Novather entering contracts with a stray soul sounds like a lion making a pact with a cut of beef. He can't stipulate that he can't hurt you at all in the contract. That's how I have it with Clump. Clump is not allowed to harm me nor any innocent soul. And Clump is not allowed to use any of his abilities at their full potential without my permission. You can basically put anything you want. Though, the contract has to be agreed upon by both parties. To be fair, Adonis basically forced Clump on me. It was more like a transferring of contracts, and I was able to adjust some of the conditions. Oh, we can also speak telepathically to each other. Clump mostly does it to tell me to feed him souls. Oh, you don't have to worry. He can't feed on you anyway. Are you wondering why he can't feed on you? I assume you know that Novather feed on souls, yes? But it has to be a specific type of soul. Like, say a person loses their life and their soul escapes their body, yes? A Novather can't go and then consume that soul. A soul has to be completely empty and devoid of anything for a Novather to be able to eat it. Not sunny side up. Basically, a soul has to have no memories or emotions, any feeling whatsoever. Basically, be a complete clean slate. You're protected because you might lose your memory, but you have a personality. Yes, you consider yourself alive, correct? As long as a soul has both emotions, memories, or not both, either emotions, memories, a personality, or anything, then a Novather can't consume that soul. The souls of Limbo must be a full plate for Clump. Yes. So, the souls of Limbo are protected by the one that rules over them. Like Adonis, for example. The souls of Limbo are very much completely devoid of emotions and personality and feelings. They are very much empty, which is basically a buffet to Novathers, because there's a whole lot of souls in limbo. I don't know if you know this, but Adonis and Clump uh, did meet through limbo. This is what Adonis told me. Adonis told me that Clump went for limbo specifically so he could have a full buffet of souls just to feast on and get more power from. Adonis wasn't really protecting the souls because it was his duty. He was protecting. Well, he wasn't protecting the souls. It was more like Clump was annoying him. So they got into a fight. And I guess you can already figure out who lost the fight. Wrong place, wrong time. Yes. Adonis wasn't really in a good mood, so Clump did encounter him at the wrong place and wrong time. If Adonis was in a better mood, then he probably would have completely ignored Clump. And just let him feast on the souls however much he wanted. Honestly, I don't entirely know how long they were in a contract before Adonis gave me Clump's contract. I would assume it would be a while. They do know each other quite well, and they get annoyed with each other quite easily also. Look at that. We only have an hour left of studying. So, we weren't really doing a lot of studying, weren't we? That's fine though. I quite enjoyed our conversation so far, honestly. I already said before, but you're the most curious stray soul I've ever encountered. Does this count as studying history? Uh, I suppose, yes. Is there any particular part of history you want to learn more about? A loophole? What do you mean? Still count as studying, so technically we did nothing wrong. I suppose you're right. Yeah. Hmm. The whole void thing, what's up with that? That's a bit of a personal subject, but I don't mind answering. Do you know the history of the beginning of the universe? Even if you do, I'll still explain it. So, as you know, in the beginning there was nothing, yes? Not a soul, not even light, sound, or anything. But then in that nothingness, there came a being known as Void. At the time, he was just an entity wandering the void. We don't really have or know his real name. We just call him Void, honestly. But eventually, Void started creating creatures of the void, like the Novator. After he started making the creatures of the void, there was another entity that entered the equation. We call her the Creator. As Void was creating creatures of the void, the creators started creating the universe. He started with entire galaxies, planets, stars, like everything we pretty much know about the entire universe and our solar system and everything she created. Though eventually, Floyd didn't really like that the creator was impeding on his space. He believed since he was there first that he owned everything. So they got into pretty much the first war. Void and his creatures fought against the creator and her creatures, creations, which basically the beginning of angels. So I think you can probably assume who won the first war. We wouldn't be here if the creator hadn't. When she won the first war, she decided to encase the universe and like separate the universe and the void. So he would still have his space of the void, and the creator confided herself into the universe. So even as she confided herself in the universe slowly expanded. She didn't really tell it to, but naturally it just continued expanding. Boyd, of course, again, didn't like that. And he figured he couldn't, he shouldn't just have the void. He also wanted the universe. He continued to engage war after war with the creator. And this continued happening even. Sorry, I'm just saying this based off memory. Even after creator, quote unquote, passed and gave her descendant her powers, Void continued to attack the universe. But we I don't want to say winning. It was more like a stalemate. Because the universe didn't conquer the void, nor the void conquered the universe. So you can't really call it a tie either. Because the void considered it a loss whenever he didn't take over the universe. And then eventually, as time passed, there was my grandfather, my father's father. We call him the demiurge. And the demiurge actually was on the void side. And he slowly started giving the void pieces of the universe. My father, of course, didn't like that. Well, eventually he overthrew his father and reclaimed all the areas that the void taken. If the creator can pass, how is void immortal? Does living in a state outside of creation prevent aging? I can't entirely say he's immortal. More like he's ageless. He started as nothing, but he wasn't born from an egg or anything. He kind of just appeared from nothing. The same with the creator. And the creator didn't entirely pass. More like, I know there's an anime that's similar to what I'm saying. I'm trying to remember. But when the creator gave birth to her son, her next of kin, she passed while transferring all of her powers and abilities to her next of kin. Like, her soul was. He transferred her soul into her next of kin. So her next of kin could have all of her powers and abilities. And the process just continued that way through our lineage. So she isn't entirely dead. Like, she is inside my father right now, but father can't communicate with her or anything. He just has full access to all of her divinity and all of her abilities. And that's what makes the supreme god, because they have the powers of the creator. So when it's my turn, eventually my father will pass and transfer his soul into me. And by proxy, transferring the creator's soul into me as well. Creation renews itself while the void stays static. Yes, exactly. Based off what we're told from history, void doesn't like change, but creation begets change. Gets change? Is that the word for it? Like, creation embraces change, but the void despises it. He thinks change is a bad thing. Creation is change. Well, you think about it, the demiurge, my grandfather, is very much different from my father, and I am a lot different from my father. First of all, because I'm a female and my father's a male. All of the supreme gods before me and before my father have all been different. Like, all of the supreme gods in the timeline weren't just the same as a creator, they were all different in their own way, you know? The demiurge was on the void side, but my father's on creation side. That's a way to look at it, yes? If it's confusing, sorry. I can try to explain it better if you don't understand. I'm not all knowing like my father. Father would have been able to explain it better than I would have. Mm. Thank you. I'm still learning all the history from my big brother and father. So sorry I don't know all the details. Is there maybe anything else you're curious about? Fine, everyone's got to learn it from somewhere. Hmm. Plus, I'm still very new to my divinity. Technically, I'm still only 19 years old. I may have ascended to godhood, but I only lived for 19 years on Earth. I'm not as old as my father, or big brother, or any of the other deities. Oh, don't tell my big brother I called him old. He is, honestly. He even has some gray hairs. Though, between you and me, big brother dyes his gray hairs. I don't know why he's so self conscious about it. Big brother lived as a deity before he was reincarnated as a human. Before, then again, ascending to godhood again after his death. I probably shouldn't need to say who my big brother is, yes. Actually, I have 3 big brothers. They're all pretty old. A lot older than me. I only have about 30 minutes left. Can you believe the teacher's been gone this entire time? What was he thinking? Is becoming a human mandatory thing for gods? No, absolutely not. It's actually a pretty rare case that a god becomes a human or a human becomes a god. Like my big brother, despite what a certain book says, Big Brother was actually born and raised in heaven. Father just gave him a special mission on Earth, so he reincarnated as a human and lived as a human for a good while before ascending back to godhood upon his death. And my other brother, Adam, he was born a human as the first creation of God on Earth, yes. Was created and born as a human. And when he died, he ascended to godhood. There's also Heracles. Heracles was born a human, or more specifically, a demigod, since he was a product of Zeus and a human woman. But after his 12 labors, he ascended to godhood. It's actually really rare. I am one of the rare cases. I was born a human, I was born a deity as the heir to heaven and the next supreme god. But as an infant, I was given mortality and I was raised on Earth for 19 years. And then I ascended to godhood. So really, I've only been a deity for only a fraction of the time compared to other gods. It's a lot like souls. Souls go through a similar process. Mortal souls, when they die, they ascend to heaven to be judged. They either be an angel of heaven, demon of hell, or they can be reincarnated as another species in this world. Though, of course, there are also native angels that are born and raised in heaven, native demons that are born and raised in hell, native species like angels, orbs, vampires, werewolves, and the like, born and raised in this realm. I died at 19. I didn't die, in my case, no. Shortly after my 19th birthday, there was the invasion of Earth. I didn't have to die for my divinity to ascend as a god. All of my divinity in my case were sealed away inside my soul. So when the seal broke during the invasion, it basically all came rushing back. And I reascended as a god. There's quite a lot of different situations like that, actually. Persona moment? Like that video game? Yes, yeah. You can't consider it a persona moment. No, don't ask me if I have a persona. I don't. What are you laughing for? You really are weird. Oh. I have a suggestion. How about after our time's up, I go show you around heaven, like I suggested earlier? I promise I won't take you to be judged if that's what you're worried about. I'll just show you around my favorite spots. There's a place I like to go. There's a cafe I like to go to. They make amazing cakes. There's also a nice garden in the palace I could show you. Whenever I want to go think or relax, I go there. I'll make sure to keep you away from Clump. It sounds fun. I'm glad you like the idea. Is there maybe anywhere in particular you want me to show you? You've probably only seen heaven in like brochures or something, or on TV maybe. If there's a particular spot you've been interested in going to, I can take you. I'll give you a special pass so you're temporarily allowed into heaven without having to die. You heard there's a tree with really tasty fruit in Eden's garden? Well, I can take you to my mother's garden, but I can't guarantee that you'll be able to eat any of the fruit. The fruit's actually off limits. Not even I'm allowed to eat it. We had a particular incident with a certain monkey that has stolen some of Peach's a while ago. And we also had another incident with the Greek gods about the golden apple. So I'm sure you can understand we have some restrictions. I can still take you though. It's not that people can't visit Mother's Garden. It's just that visitors aren't allowed to eat the fruit. Heard that monkey had a blast though. He's a handful to deal with. Honestly, the most troublemaking god I've ever encountered. I'm glad I don't have to deal with him on a daily basis. I think I might have a migraine if I had to deal with him on the daily. Actually, you are allowed to taste one fruit from Mother's Garden. So I have to give you a small portion. You're allowed to taste a little bit of the ambrosia. But if I give you too much, then you might die. Not that it's poisonous, or so the taste would be too overwhelming for a fragile soul like you. If it's edible, it's edible. You're quite funny sometimes. But yes, I'll let you taste a little bit, but I can't give you too much. Mom's rules, you know. And I'm sure you don't want to anger any of the gods. I might also have to take you down if I need to. Don't want to roll a rock for all eternity. I think you would be more afraid of total extinction from existence rather than rolling a rock. I will tell you though, out of all the gods you shouldn't anger, definitely shouldn't anger my mother. I've only ever seen her angry one time, and it was really scary. Scarier than my father, actually. You might be lucky and end up seeing some of the other gods during your visit. I will tell you though, Loki will try to troll you if he's there. He likes to mess with the newbies. I'll do my best to protect you from him, but even I'm not immune to his shenanigans. He is the god of tricks after all. Oh, are you at all interested in how holy water is created? I can definitely show you where we make that. Like actual real holy water, not any of the fake ones on Earth. Now you are? Holy water is actually used to tip angelic weapons, so they have more effect against any hostile demons. You assumed we boiled it? Is it true that if you mix it with less than 50% water, it all turns into holy water? Or is that just a human story? Well, how holy water is created? You do get water, but it has to be water specifically from heaven. But water from heaven doesn't just make holy water. There's like a certain process to it. You add water, then you add a substance called aether. Then you add purified salt. And you mix it. That's pretty much it. But it has to be specific measurements. If there's even too much or not enough of one ingredient, then the holy water is basically useless. It's still holy water, but nowhere near as effective as truly pure holy water. A lot of the holy water that you might see being sold in other kingdoms and towns aren't the truly pure holy water. It's the failed, what do you call it? It's the failed versions of holy water. That's the word. Another way you could get holy water is if you manage to get your hand on an angelic weapon and then you cut the blade in half. Holy water comes out of the blades of holy weapons. A lot of things in heaven are actually coated in holy water. So the clothes get coated in holy water. The weapons, like I said. Even like simple accessories. My bows, for example, are coated in holy water. Same with my glasses frames. Well, for me, basically all of my clothes are coated in holy water. It's one way of protecting me from demons going after me. Even the smallest amount of holy water can deeply damage a demon. It might not severely injure them, but it will give them a pretty nasty burn. Adonis proof. Yes. Adonis actual has restraints that are slightly coated in holy water. It's not enough to severely burn him, but it's enough to restrain his abilities and his powers. It looks like you only have 10 minutes left. I will say, even though we didn't really study as much as I wanted to, it was nice having a conversation with you. I'm glad you feel the same way. How about when it's time, time can fly when you're dead? Well, you're not exactly dead. You'd only be dead if you were in limbo. You're here talking and conversating with me right now, aren't you? I wouldn't consider you dead. You know, now that I think about it, you've come quite a long way, haven't you? I don't entirely know if you are that same stray soul that appeared in my room all that time ago. Even if you weren't, I think you've grown quite a bit just through this conversation. You think you recall something like that? Oh, quite a few stray souls have wandered into my room. If you are one of them, then I'm happy to see that you're still alive and well. Okay. Mm. When our time's up, you can go into your dorm and change out of our school uniform. I'll go to my dorm and change out, and then we can meet out in the front and take you to heaven. I think that sounds like a plan. I'll need some time to get a pass from my brother for you, so I'll definitely let you know when it's all ready. Is there kebab? Uh, sure. There might be a place that sells those. We can look around. If that's what you're craving for. Okay. Our time's about up. I'll see you in a bit, yeah? Is it like a day pass? Yep. You only get to be there for a day. But don't worry. I'll make sure you have a wonderful time. I'll see you in a bit, okay?